suffering, and glory. Now it's good to be back with you again after 1 week off from making devotions. Before we get started, I'd like you to pause and read Romans chapter 8. This devotion and the other two this week, Paul explains that there are other reasons that we can be absolutely sure that there is no possibility that God will condemn us. Is that right? That's right. No possibility. Paul said that our redemption, and that means where Jesus bought us. He said that that is so important. It's more important than we can imagine. Paul, he assured the Roman Christians, he assured them, the ones he was writing the letter to, that they could be sure that they are heirs of God. Heirs of God if they are willing to suffer with Christ. Heirs of God and fellow heirs with Christ, provided we suffer with him, in order that we may also be glorified with him. You notice the two words, glorified. It means that we will become more like Christ. And in verse 18, Paul explains more about this. The other word, suffering, and then glory. For I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that is to be revealed to us. Dr. James M. Boyce, he's pastor, and he noticed three different things between glory that awaits us and suffering here on earth. Glory and suffering. First, our glory is so intense. Wow, compared to suffering, the comparison is so minute. So we do not lose heart. Though our outer self is wasting away, our inner self is being renewed day by day. For this light momentary affliction is preparing us for an eternal weight of glory beyond all comparison. Our suffering is good for us to prepare us to be ready for eternal glory. And that in itself is beyond anything that we can compare it to. And that means that glory is so wonderful that we have nothing that we can compare it to. There is nothing. It is so wonderful. Secondly, glory affects our whole self, our whole inner being, body and soul. Let's look at the verse again. So we do not lose heart. Though our outer self is wasting away, our inner self is being renewed day by day, even though our bodies are dying. When we reach heaven, glory will be revealed in us. And thirdly, glory, it will continue longer than our suffering. Glory will be eternal. Hallelujah. For this light momentary affliction is preparing us for an eternal weight of glory beyond all comparison. Our suffering here on earth, sometimes it seems like it will never end, just continue on and on. But if we compare our suffering with eternity with God, wow, suffering seems as if it is nothing. Now, let's apply this to our Christian life. Question: are you going through trials and tribulations? We all go through things, but we can be comforted. How? Well, we know that Christ has a place for us in heaven, that our sufferings will seem like nothing. For I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that is to be revealed to us. When you go through difficult times, suffering, look to what? Well, look to the promises. Two. One is rest in heaven, and the second is the comfort that is your strength to endure the suffering here on earth. God's gift to us. And also pray that God will give you the hope of glory. David Hansen, he is a pastor, deaf pastor of Deaf Liberty Baptist Church. It's located in Kansas City, Missouri, and he died on March 6th after about a year of suffering with cancer. Wow, it's a long year for David and for his family. Now, David, he is with Jesus, and he is full of joy, yes. I'm sure that when he arrived, wow, he could not even find words to explain what it looked like there. But there's more. There's more that David has not seen yet. His body, it will rise. It will rise and become glorified like Jesus. Hallelujah. We will be with him when this happens. Our body and his body will be glorified at the same time. Beloved, we are God's children now, and what we will be has not yet appeared, but we know that when he appears, we shall be like him, because we shall see him as he is. David Hanson went to heaven. Why? Is it because he did work to earn his way to heaven? No. David had faith in Jesus Christ. He also preached that Jesus did all the work himself to save all those who had faith in him alone. Coram Deo.